Hello, my dearest friends of good design, and welcome to the Daily Creative Challenges in Adobe Illustrator. I am your host, Julia Vaca, and I am super excited about today's Daily Creative Challenge. It's going to be all about packaging. We are already having conversations in the chat about this. Everybody seems to be excited about it. We have some pros also who are doing packaging design. Cool. So, my friends, Daily Creative Challenges, what is this actually? This is a great place for you to start learning design, and also, if you're already advanced, to learn some new techniques, some new tools in Adobe Illustrator. If you are new here, come join us on our Daily Creative Challenge page on behance.net/challenge/illustrator. This is where you can access all the challenges that we're doing, and every single day we have a new challenge pop out. And as you can see, today's Daily Creative Challenge is packaging design, and we're going to be preparing a packaging design using the masking tools, and we're going to be getting started with the dieline provided in the starter asset, which you can access here when you click Get Started. So once you click Get Started, you'll be able to download this document right here, and this is a really cool opportunity for you. If you've never tried packaging design, this is going to be super fun and super easy to create something really fast. And I have set up layers for you. As you can see, we have the die line and we have the artwork that we're going to be creating. So if you want to experiment with packaging, today's the day. Cool. Another thing that I want to recommend you check out is our Discord channel that you can find if you go to this link right here, bit.ly/AI Discord. And this is where we share the challenges, the work that you create throughout these challenges. And please submit your challenge under the challenge feedback section. So this is where you can post your image after you're done creating it. And here we have some past challenges from our series together that looks super fun. We have Gera Velan here doing some amazing poster work, music in the city. This one looks super cool. And we have this really cool 3D illustration here, spring, that we were doing yesterday. This looks super amazing. I also love how it has a perspective and shadows and all of that. I see that you had a lot of experimentation going. Cool. Yeah, so check this out, and there's a lot more going here that you can check out in our Discord. All right, my friends, now let's jump in here, and I wanted to give you kind of a little idea of how to set up a packaging file. So professionally, I've been doing packaging a lot for my clients as well. So I was freelancing for the longest time, for about 6 years, and I was doing packaging and branding for small to mid-sized businesses. So I have quite a lot of experience there. And as some of you might know, I'm now full-time with Adobe, so I'm not doing as much packaging anymore, but I'm doing a lot of other fun stuff instead. Cool. So how to set up a packaging file. Now, this file, of course, for us is set up for us to be sharing digitally on our Discord, right? Because we want to create some packaging, export it, and share it digitally. Now, if we actually wanted to create a print file, I would go ahead and create a new file. And you can also bring this artwork into that other file as well if you want. Go here into print, and here we're going to be selecting, instead of points, we're going to be selecting inches, depending on the size of the packaging layout that you want to put together. And then we would be working in CMYK color mode if it is for printing. And raster effects will be set to 300 points per inch, but those are all really great presets when you're already in the print section. Cool. And I would click create, and I would set up my file there. But generally, in terms of layers, how a packaging file like this one is set up is that we have multiple layers on it. And of course, it depends on the type of print that you're going for. Sometimes you need to divide the artwork into the different colors that it's printed in. In this case, we're assuming this is going to be a digital print, right? But if you want to have like a spot print or any kind of treatments, those need to be in separate layers, okay? Just because those are kind of like the different steps in the printing process, and if you set up the layers, the printer knows, those are different steps, and I need to print this first, this second, and so on. Now we have also these lines right here, and let me remove the artwork one. We have the cutting line. This is where the object is going to be cut out, and the blue lines are the folding lines. So this is where the packaging is being folded, and there will be a crease created there, right? So that's the folding line, and that's the cutting line. Now, if I turn on my artwork, you can see it slightly kind of looks over that cutting line. And why is that? Because we want to print a little bit further out of that. In case the printer, whenever they cut the box, are not 100% precise, we give them a little bit of wiggle room. This wiggle room is called the dieline. The dieline, and oh God, I have a complete blackout. So we have also our settings here with, oh gosh, I don't know why I don't remember it anymore. Bleed, oh God, yes. So this is called the bleed in our dieline, the bleed where we want to leave a little bit of space, a little bit of wiggle room for our artwork to be printed. Right, so we're printing a little bit outside of the cutting line to have that little space and wiggle room for imperfection. Okay, so this is how I divide my file. I have the artwork and I have the die line. The die line basically has a technical functionality, right? So the die line gives the idea of where to cut, where to fold, and so on. So that's kind of the information that the printer needs for for producing the print that you want to produce. Now, if we turn off the die line, we can see this is the actual print. So this is the artwork that needs to be printed, correct? Cool. All right, so far it looks like a weird spaceship all flat like that. Yeah, it does. But I want you to, if you want, you can of course print this and fold it the way you want it to fold, and following these guides, of course. This is quite a complex shape to kind of cut out by hand, and that's the reason why we have these cutting lines, because those cutting lines are being set up in the machine that's going to cut this exact shape, right? So it's kind of like a mold that's being shaped to this exact red line to be cut into the paper, right? And then as a step after, the blue lines are there for us to do the creases or the folding. All right, but today we're going to be focusing on the artwork. So once you're in the layers, I would like you to lock the die line so we don't mess with it a lot. And the die line is good for us to have even when we are creating the artwork, so we can imagine, hey, so this is where it's going to be bent. So how do I distribute my artwork inside this space so that I kind of keep this bending in consideration? So let's get started, and I'm going to be just creating some sample packaging, being a little bit experimental because that's what we want to do. And I'm going to go into my type tool, and I'm going to add some text, some elements that go into our packaging. Also, whenever you design, make sure to understand which part is where, right? So where's the front? How's the user going to open the box? And you can see we have this flap right here that's going to close in here. So this is kind of the front of the box, if you think about it, right? This is, or if this flap kind of goes into that portion, that's the front of the box. So we need to make sure to kind of find this experience. How will actually the user use the box, and imagine how will they hold it, how will they open it, and which is the direction of how they are going to view the artwork. All right, cool. All right, the architecture of a package. Yes, a shuffle. Yes, no color where the glue goes. Yeah, you can keep this space white. In this case, I don't think it's, I don't know. I never found it that important to not apply color where the glue goes. To be honest, I don't know if it's, yeah, that important, but I guess you can leave if you think that your your treatment is going to affect the gluing. Of course, you can go ahead and create a rectangle that's going to be a no color rectangle, so just white, like so. So you make sure that this area is not going to be printed at all, right? So there's no color applied to this specific area. But I have not actually came across that before. I'm sure in some occasions, like labels, when you're thinking of like plastic bottles and stuff, those labels maybe need that, but in this case we're going to be a little bit more kind of higher level designers. We're not going to go too much into detail because we're just here to explore and to have fun with creating a packaging, right? Cool. So we are going to be using the type tool, and we're going to be creating a text box. Now your text might be looking a little bit smaller because I've been already playing around in this file, and you can click delete and type in whatever you want. I'm going to create a huge letter R that I'm going to be using. On top of my packaging, it's going to be kind of the brand name or the abbreviation of the brand name. And I'm using the Lust font here. You can also adjust the font size. Right now it's set to 72 point. But we're going to be outlining it anyway. And whenever you create packaging, it is important to outline all the text once you're done. Because if you don't outline the text, the printer might open the file and they don't have the font that you left as live font, like here, right? Maybe they don't even have that Lust font, so they will not see what the artwork will actually look like, right? So make sure whenever you're done designing packaging, always outline all the text, so it's in vector format. All right, and now I'm going to take this piece of text, Command Shift and O. I don't know what's wrong with my brain today. It's kind of feeling the weekend already. Cool. So we're going to be holding Shift and resizing the R. We're going to make it real large. Now you can see, which is the cool part of having the layers set up. You have the die line on top, right? So I can see there's going to be a fold in here, right? There's going to be a fold in here. And I can now make sure to design in a way where I want the fold kind of to separate this R into the two pieces of the packaging. So this is one side, this is the other side, and the R is kind of going to be kind of going from one side into the other. I really like kind of playing with kind of redirecting the artwork into another page because it gives it a nice flow, right? So let's say somebody is looking at this packaging and you know, actually we need to turn this around. So let's go ahead and turn this around because I've realized, so actually we're going to have to be designing upside down because the person will be opening the box from the front, from over here. So let's take all of this, unlock the folder. I'm going to select all of those, and I'm going to hold Shift and turn all of this around because this is actually our front side. This is the side where this kind of piece goes into, right? And this is how we're going to be holding the box. We're going to be holding the box with this side to the front, and this is the piece that's going to be kind of opening up from there. And this is where we kind of, this is the little piece of paper that has been excluded just for our thumb to kind of grab the box, right? So think about that experience, and this is going to be the front side. So let's create something like this where we have the R kind of being as a transition from one side into the other. And now we can imagine the packaging whenever it's closed, you will see kind of the R guiding your eye from one side of the packaging to the other, which is a really great way to create kind of a flow in the information, right? You don't only want the person to see the front side of the packaging, although it should be the first thing in the hierarchy that they should see. You still want them to look around and to kind of admire your artwork, right? So another thing that you can do to create flow in a packaging like this one is by creating a flow between all of these elements, right? So I can go in and grab this outline that I have here, and I'm going to click Command C, Command V. I'm going to create a copy of this. And by the way, let's lock the die line again so we don't mess with it. Now we're going to be creating Let's zoom out a little bit. By the way, to zoom out, I'm holding the Option key and using my mouse to kind of go in and out, to zoom in and out of my artwork, right? Don't zoom out too much, that you still kind of see your artwork. Cool, so now we have kind of copied this portion right here, and I'm going to create a little flow in my box, right? We kind of want to start at the front, and then we want them to turn it around, maybe to look at the top, the bottom. So let's create a line that's going to be kind of dividing or connecting those sides of the packaging. And I'm going to be using the pencil tool and kind of creating a little, maybe a little bit more of a wavy line, kind of something like this. And we're going to be selecting both of these objects, and now I'm going to go into Properties, Pathfinder, and I'm going to click Divide. Okay, so now we have these two parts of packaging, and if I double click into this, I can really see they are already divided. And I'm going to remove the top portion because I only want to apply this bottom part. I want to apply color to this bottom part, and I'm going to push it back to where it belongs, just above this element right here, just like that. Now I'm going to apply some color to this using the eyedropper letter I. I'm going to apply some of this blue that I already have here. And now let's place the R back to the front, right click, arrange, bring to front. There we go. Now we can also make this R a white color to make it a little bit more kind of subtle in the background. Cool, so now what did we do? We have created a flow between the pieces, the sides of the packaging. Now let's build a fun experience of opening this box. Maybe there is a little hidden smiley inside here, so when somebody opens the box, they have this experience of, you know, really thoughtful. Somebody thought of them, somebody wants to give them some good vibes, good energy. So we can put a smiley somewhere around here, maybe the portion that goes kind of inside this side of the packaging. So to create a smiley, we're going to go and use the ellipse tool, holding shift. We're going to create a circle. Using the eyedropper, we're going to sample this color, and we are going to go in and design the smiley real quick. Again, using the ellipse tool, we're going to create two different other ellipses. Eyedropper, sampling the white color, something like this. And then we're going to be creating the mouth as well. So again, I'm using the ellipse tool, I'm going to create a circle, and I'm going to use the outline this time. So I'm going here at the bottom and swapping the fill with the outline, and then I'm pressing V, and now you can see I can place this piece kind of into the center of the circle, make sure it matches the circle that we already have for this piece. And then we're going to be taking the direct selection tool, removing, clicking delete on our keyboard, and I'm going to kind of move these eyes slightly closer together, somewhat like this. Cool, now we have a little smiley going, and let's increase the size of the stroke a little bit by selecting this half circle, and we're going to be making it somewhat like that. And then you can click on the stroke and you can make it rounded. The cap can be rounded. Let's make this slightly smaller. This is a very big smile. All right, and let's push the eyes further to the top, somewhat like that. Now let's go in and select the mouth, because right now it's an outline and we want to create a path that goes around it. So whenever I scale, it kind of scales with a smiley. So I'm going into Object, Path, Outline Stroke. So there we have our little smiley face, and we're going to select all of it and click Command and G. So whenever we move it around, it's a group of elements. Now let's put it right here into the little portion right here. Now if you imagine this kind of going in here, we need to turn this around upside down, right? Because when the person is going to be opening the box, this portion will be looking down, right? So that's how it's gonna go. It's going to go right in here, and then the smiley is going to appear in the right direction. Cool. So we have that. We have a little kind of tiny experience going, maybe even making it a little bit more small. Cool. So we have we have some flow in our packaging. Now, of course, we can add some more information in the back. Just whenever you create some typography on the packaging, make sure that it's not too small, that it's not too big. And here we can have something saying like instructions, or table of contents, or whatever you want to do with this backside. And I'm going to make that just a little bit smaller, and I'm going to make that a white color using the eyedropper, a blue color, sorry. There we go. So make sure that you have enough contrast for the text on the packaging. And another trick to make sure that we have enough contrast is you can lay in a rectangle in one color right here. So we can go in and make it white, sample this white color with the eyedropper. There we go. And then we can put in some text in here into this box, just to show that this could be lorem ipsum. And here we're going to be going for a more simple font, because we don't want to have this Lust font kind of being too small, because it makes it less legible. I really like using a font like Montserrat maybe, and let's make it just a little bit smaller. Okay, so let's fill this box actually with placeholder text so that we have an idea of what this is going to look like. And I think maybe we can even go in and make that a little bit smaller and increase the leading, the distance between the lines a little bit. So something like this could be a good kind of backside text. All right, and then we could have, for example, ingredients somewhere at the bottom. And ingredients are usually very, very tiny, so maybe we can even decrease the size of this font, and instead of regular, maybe we can go to medium to make it a little bit bolder, and we're going to be decreasing the leading again. So this could be something like ingredients. There we go. Cool. And usually there is a lot of kind of regulations of what font size the ingredients have to be at the minimum, and so on. Cool. The right side should always be blank white where the glue goes. Okay, keep it white. That's fine. Okay, barcode. Yeah, barcode is also another good one. So the barcode we could put somewhere here maybe, and again, for a barcode we can use a white box. So I'm going to, again, eyedropper and use a white box, so that whenever we put the code on it, which usually is in black color, it gives enough contrast for it to be scannable. And also make sure to leave enough space to the crease so that the barcode is not too close to the crease and we still kind of have enough space. Cool. So let's create a couple of lines so that we kind of imitate a barcode. There we go. All right, so let's increase the stroke. Let's make it black. And we're going to just imitate the barcode really, really quick. Like so. Just like that. Okay, and then we're going to create another copy that's going to be slightly thinner. Yeah, so it's up to you how you imitate the barcode. If you actually take an actual barcode, that's also possible. All right. Essentially just copying and pasting some of the elements and kind of creating an imitation of where the barcode goes. Okay, cool. So we have a packaging going in only, what were we working, 25 minutes or something. Of course, there is more detailed work to be done here. For example, we can also play around where the barcode goes. Maybe it can go over here because it's the bottom of the box, you know. So there are multiple ways. Is it going to be vertical? Is it going to be horizontal? Depending on where there is space, and maybe there is some, other information, some, I don't know, iconography going, or maybe some icons kind of describing the product. So that is also completely possible. Maybe there are some little icons kind of describing it's vegan, it's cruelty-free, or whatnot there is today. So yeah, feel free to set it up as you wish. Maybe get some inspiration from an existing packaging that you have seen that you really love. Just, you know, experimenting and just trying it out for yourself and setting up the file for yourself is actually already a really, really good practice. And then I would like you to print it out. If you have the opportunity, please print it out, put it together, and then look at it. See what's the right size for your font. If the font size is too small, is it not legible anymore once you print it? Or is it maybe too big and maybe you can crop it down a little bit, right? So there's a lot of testing that can be done after actually designing the packaging. Cool. So, but for us for now, I would like you all to export this packaging by going and creating a background first, if you want to. And I'm going to make that background black or almost black, off black, something like this. And I'm going to send it to back, right click, arrange, send to back. So something like this will be nice if you could export that into onto your computer by going to File, Export, Export As, and we're going and exporting as a JPEG, and we're going to be using the artboards. The artboard that I've set up is only one, it's this one, so this portion is not going to go into the export. There we go. In RGB, this is fine for us to post into our Daily Creative Challenge page. And then we're going into bit.ly/AI Discord to post our work. So this is where I would like you to post it. And I'm excited to see your packaging work. And for all of you who know more about packaging, feel free to add tips if you had experience, creating packaging. Add tips for the others, like the one with leaving the spot white or not printed where the glue goes. So cool. All right, my friends. So I am super excited to see your packaging results, and I will see you again tomorrow. Same time, same place. Have a good day, and until then, stay tuned for the program. Bye-bye.